Hello and happy Veterans Day. Thank you for joining us today here on Facebook. My name is Justin Thompson and I have with me today John Hayden. We are attorneys with the Military and Veterans Unit here at Lone Star Legal Aid. Today we're going to share with you some information on the benefits that the great state of Texas has for veterans. First, I'd like to share a little more information though about our Military and Veterans Unit. We serve low-income veterans, active duty soldiers and their families, spouses, and surviving spouses. Our unit covers 72 counties in East and South Texas, from Beaumont down to Lake Jackson, up to Killeen and Belton, and even up into Texarkana. We're here to help resolve civil legal issues. Now, when we say civil legal issues, what do we mean by that? Of course, we can help with veterans benefits, service connected, non-service connected, DIC, that kind of thing. But also we're here to help with evictions and foreclosures. We also help fight issues in the family law courts regarding divorce and child custody. We can assist with wills and estate planning and probate issues. We also help resolve consumer issues, help with bankruptcies. If you've been involved with the criminal justice system, we can also help with expunctions and non-disclosures. Finally, we also help with public benefits such as Social Security, food stamps, unemployment, and Medicaid claims. If you have any questions, though, there's our numbers at the bottom, 844-400-8387. And we'll have at the end also some time for questions, as well as our information will be in the last slide. But now I'm going to hand it off to John, who's going to share with you about Texas hunting and fishing license information for veterans.
Hello, everybody. I'm John. So first off is hunting and fishing licenses if you are active duty. If you're active duty, you can get a free hunting license, fishing license, and it has 5 state endorsements: archery, freshwater fishing, saltwater fishing with a red drum tag, upland game bird, and migratory game bird. Now, it's important to know that you don't get the federal duck stamp because this is a state program. So if you want to do waterfowl hunting, make sure that you get that federal duck stamp because it's not included. Now, if you're eligible by being an active duty military and being a Texas resident. You can be active duty in any branch, right? Army, Navy, Marines, Air Force, Coast Guard, Reserves, National Guard, or Texas State Guard. Now, how do you prove that? You prove that with your military service record. Basically, that's to indicate what your home of record is, that it has to be in Texas, and that your duty station for the 6 months immediately prior to the time of application is in Texas. And where do you get it? In person at a licensed retailer. Now, this is also available to disabled veterans. It has all the same endorsements that you get it for active duty. It's important to know you don't get that federal duck stamp, though. So just the same, you do not get the federal duck stamp. Now, who is eligible? Residents or non-residents qualifying as a disabled veteran. And that's obviously defined by the Veterans Administration. If you are 50% or more disabled, you're good to go. If it's less than that, if your disability consists of the loss of a foot or a leg, then that will work for you, even if it is less than 50%. Now, how do you prove that? Well, you just bring your VA letter documenting your disability. And again, you take that to a licensed retailer in person. Now I'd like to talk about Texas state parks. And I think I might be going through this a little fast, so I'll slow down for. So if you can go to slide 13. So that you can get a Texas Parklands passport. Now, what does that include? That's free entry to a state park if you're a veteran and you have that passport. You can also bring someone with you and they only have to pay half of that. Now, only one person gets half. You can't bring a whole group and they all get half. Only one person can get half. To be eligible, you need to be, it doesn't matter if you're a resident, but you need to have a 60% or greater disability. Alternatively, if it's less than 60%, you can still get it. You just have to have a service connected loss that's connected to that involves loss of a lower extremity. And how do you get this? Well, you just go to a Texas state park and bring your documentation. Bring valid identification. So if you have a disabled veteran's license plate, just bring the receipt for that. Bring your VA letter, the award letter, or a letter showing that you qualify for tax exemption for a Texas veteran. And now I'll hand it over to Justin to talk to you about those property tax exemptions.
So Texas has amazing property tax exemptions if you are a disabled veteran. And so that's kind of the next area we want to cover. And this is a possibility for you to save many, many thousands of dollars if you qualify for it. So if you have any questions, again, call our unit 844-400-8387. We'll be happy to answer any questions on this. So if you are a 100% disabled veteran, you qualify to have all of your property taxes, regardless of the jurisdiction, exempted from your property, regardless of the home's value. Now, that includes school taxes, that includes any local taxes, everything are included in that exemption from the property taxes on your home's value. Now, if you co-own the home with someone other than your spouse, maybe you own it with your parents or you own it with your children, only your share of the home is exempt from the property taxes if you're a 100% disabled veteran. Now, who's eligible? You own a home and it has to be your residence homestead. So it has to be your primary place of residence. It has to be where you've declared your homestead here in Texas. Now, you have to be receiving 100% disability compensation from the VA. Now, so there's kind of two different ways, veterans know that you can get that two different ways. You can either be 100% service connected, or you can be determined to be 100% individually unemployable, which is, based on a combination of your disabilities and your unique circumstances. So it's either the full 100% or the individual unemployability for 100% rating. Where you get this is you go to your local appraisal district. So it's pretty easy. You get online if you're in Harris County or Jefferson County, go to the appraisal district and get their address or phone number, and then they will give you the form that you need to fill out. Again, you're going to want to make sure that form's filled out correctly. Make sure you note that you're a 100% disabled veteran, as well as that it's your homestead. And you're going to want a copy of your award letter, your tax letter, or some other document from the VA showing that you have 100% disability compensation, either due to that service connected or the 100% individual unemployability. So again, fill out the form at the local county appraisal district and make sure you have your letter from the VA showing that 100% disability rating. Now, you can also, if you're not 100%, if you're as low as even 10% service connected, you can qualify for exemptions from your property taxes. Now, they range from 5,000 exemption all the way up to 12,000 based on your disability rating percentage. So say 10 to 29% is that lowest, that 5,000 exemption, and then all the way up to 70% up to the 99. So if you're 70 or 80 or 90, you can get that 12,000 exempted off of your property. So the other benefit to this is, though, this is not just limited to your homestead. So if you have some other property, or maybe you inherited something that is not your actual homestead, you can still declare your disabled veteran exemption on that property for a portion of the assessed value. Again, who's eligible? You have to be a veteran classified as disabled, and you have to be service-connected disability. And you have to be able to show it, again, with one of those VA award letters. And again, go down to your local appraisal district, Smith County or Wood County or Tyler County, or wherever you happen to live, and they'll have the form for you. And you're going to want to make sure, again, note the box for the disabled veterans exemption. Make sure you have your letter with it so that when you apply for it, you can get it. Now, it's going to matter when you apply. They don't usually give these back very far. So if you don't already have this information, or if you've applied and been denied, feel free to give us a call and we'd be happy to help. So another benefit for folks in Texas that's unique is provided by the Veterans Land Board here in Texas, and those are Texas State Veterans Homes. These are affordable, long-term skilled nursing care facilities for folks. It's very unique. It's a veteran-centered environment. There's the opportunity to live around folks who have had similar life experiences. I've had the opportunity and the privilege to visit the one down in Houston before. And, these are folks who get to talk about what they've gone through with other folks. And some of these are really nice new facilities. There are 9 of them here in Texas. There's one in Amarillo, Big Spring. There's one in Bonham, out in El Paso, down in Floresville, down in Southwest Texas, Houston, McAllen, Temple, and Tyler. Those are the 9 facilities that are currently available here in Texas. These are eligible. These are available for qualified veterans, also veteran spouses, and even Gold Star parents have the opportunity to apply to live in these facilities. Again, that it's provided by the Texas Veterans Land Board. Where you get information on this is you can go online to the Veteran Land Board's website. There's the link there. Again, if you can Google up Veterans Land Board and you can find it, you will want to apply with their form. You can hand deliver it to the home of your choice. You can fax it or you can mail it to them. You're going to want to make sure you have the application and the DD-214 of the veteran. Now, if you aren't the veteran, you need to be able to show how you're related to them, either through a marriage certificate or on the death certificate, or if you're one of those Gold Star parents, you're going to want to make sure you have the birth certificate showing your relation to the veteran. Back to John for issues on driver's license and license plates for veterans.
All right, well, let's start with driver's license. So you can get a free driver's license or ID card. You don't have to pay for it. You can also get a veteran's designation printed on the face of the driver's license. Now, I would recommend that. That's very handy. For example, if the military and veterans unit is going to help you with a legal problem, one of the things we can accept as documentation is a driver's license that shows that veteran's designation on there. And you always have your driver's license with you, so it's pretty handy. Who is eligible? A veteran with a service-connected disability of at least 60% and an honorable discharge. Where do you get it? Go to the DMV, and you'll have a lot of fun at the DMV. What proof must be provided? Your DD-214, DD-215, NGB-22, or your VA disability letter. Now, license plates. The law has changed on license plates. So if you have a disabled vet license plate, make sure you pay attention so you don't accidentally break the law. Now, who is eligible for a disabled vet license plate? Well, disabled veterans. Cost $3. You need to be 50% service connected, or you can be 40% service connected, but that disability has to be due to an amputation of a lower extremity. You also have to be honorably discharged. You can also get a Purple Heart designation for $3, Legion of Valor recipient, don't have to pay for that. And now the International Symbol of Access, that's the little picture of the guy in the wheelchair that you see like on those little placards. This is where the law has changed. Beginning in 2022, January 1st, 2022, you have to have that ISA designation to park in an ADA parking spot. So before January 2022, just having a DV license plate was good enough. It's not good enough anymore beginning in the new year. So, and the ability to get that ISA designation on the plate or on the placard, it's more involved. You can't, just having a service connected disability is not enough, but the proof does overlap. You have to have visual acuity of 2200 or worse, and that's in your better eye. Alternatively, your visual field can be restricted to 20%. But the most common way is that you have mobility issues. So if you have a mobility problem that substantially impairs your ability to move around, you can get an ISA designation. Now, a whole bunch of VA service-connected disabilities are going to be what you need, but not always. So if you do not have that ISA sticker and it's the new year, don't park in a parking in a disabled parking spot, or you'll risk getting a ticket. Now, next slide. So yeah, basically, I guess I'd already gone through this. You can have the ISA on the sticker, on the placard, or you can have it on your license plate. Now, what is not included, you can't have both the ISA symbol and an emblem. It's either or. To be eligible, you have to be service connected 60% and have an honorable discharge. Now let me go to the, okay, so parking privileges and fee exemptions. So if you have a disabled veteran plate and you're the disabled veteran operating it, or someone is operating it for you, you can, well, actually, I should have taken this slide out. Sorry, you have to have the ISA designation. But yeah, with the ISA designation, you can park in those ADA parking spots, the spots for people with physical disabilities. Now, next slide. You can also, even without the ISA designation, you can park for free at many places, at parking meters, as long as it's operated by the state government, Texas state government. If it's operated by the feds, this doesn't work. If it's operated by a private company, this does not work. Yes, so all of these, yeah, anyone with a disabled plate can park in certain government places. So next slide. You should, well, actually, that's what I said. You should not assume that parking will be free. So just make sure. Some places have local ordinances like parking garages, especially airport parking garages. Even if it's operated by the government, it's not going to be free because they're bound by local ordinances. So there may be some fees there. And some federal facilities have to see the ISA on the plates or on a placard. Now, toll tax. You don't have to pay for the toll at a whole bunch of places in Texas, but not all. Some places you still have to pay the toll. So there's no tolls at the in the Austin metro area on the Central Texas Turnpike system. In the Houston metro area on the Grand Parkway, Dallas Fort Worth, this is where there's a gotcha. It's only if it's a Tex Press lane. It basically, if it's managed by the Texas Department of Transportation. Those places, you won't have to pay the toll. Other places, you might. They also have programs, but you know, there's too many to count. So that's beyond the scope of this presentation. But other places may have programs for veterans. Now, who is eligible? If you've gotten the Medal of Honor, you know, you're eligible. Air Force Cross, Distinguished Service Cross, Army Distinguished Service Cross, Navy Cross, Purple Heart, disabled veterans. You're eligible. If you got any of those, you're eligible. You don't have to pay the tolls. You get to go in the fast lane. You paid your toll when you're in the service. So where do you get this? You don't have to apply. You just show up with your qualifying license plate that shows that you're disabled vet or that you have one of those other designations. Requirements, the car needs to be registered with the state of Texas, DMV. You need to have been issued a qualifying specialty plate and properly display that plate. Remember, Texas is a state where you have to display it in the front as well as the back. So properly display means put it in the front. And it has to be the disabled person operating it, or it has to be operated for that disabled person. And it has to be on a Texas Department of Transportation toll road. And that's all I got. So I'm going to hand it over to Dustin.
Just like to thank y'all for joining us today again here on Facebook. If there are any questions, feel free to write them in the chat and we'll try to answer them the best we can. Give a few seconds for that. But while that's going on, just to let you know how to contact us again, 844-400-8387 is our phone number. You can reach us via email at vethelp@lonestarlegal.org, or you can start your application on our main website, www.lonestarlegal.org. I just want to thank the folks who make our services possible. Again, we've got the Legal Services Corporation, Texas Access to Justice Foundation, the Bob Woodruff Foundation, and then the Texas Veterans Commission. They are invaluable for providing us the resources to be able to provide our services for low-income folks at no cost. If you have the opportunity, we appreciate all of the folks who help us do what we do. So again, just wanted to leave our contact information up there. Don't see any questions at this time, and just thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, again, give us a call or contact us online.